All right, welcome back to the next video in the 3D Print and Farm Sheets version 4.0 series, where we are going through the whole template, talking about variables, what's important, what things do, the logic behind it, and all things 3D Print Farm. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. Let's get into it. We are on to the sales channels, the most fun part. Let's see what we actually make on some products, huh? So we filled in some items here with how long it takes to print, how many grams of filament it uses, additional cost, things like that. Now when we flip over to say Etsy, we can see here it is pre-populating our items here, and it is giving us some errors right now, right? And it will walk through why that is, and you'll see there's nothing in material cost. So the first thing you do when you get to this page is kind of ignore the numbers that start out in here and go up here to this top section. So the first thing we need to do is determine if we are a over 10,000 or under 10,000 shop. This is used to determine what rate you pay for offsite ads. If you are under 10,000 in revenue, you pay 15%. If you are over 10,000, you pay 12%. Next thing we select, do we want offsite ads on? Yes, you can see it adds a column in here, or no, it does not account for offsite ads. That is a personal choice. If you get a lot of offsite ads, I would say keep it on. We don't, so we have it off right now. Etsy ads, ACOS. It's ad cost of sale, I think is what it stands for. And essentially it is the percentage of every sale you make that you put back towards in advertising dollars. So the best way to calculate that is add up your ad budget for, and keep in mind, this is Etsy's ad budget. If you do outside ads outside of Etsy, this is not for that. That would be an overhead expense for your business and would not go straight to the item itself. But with the Etsy ads, we're able to assign a value to the item itself for Etsy ads. So go into your Etsy Ads Manager, add up your total ad spent for the year. Do the same thing and add up your total revenue spent for the year. Divide those two numbers. It'll give you a percentage of ads to revenue, which essentially says for every sale I made, X percent went right back to Etsy advertisement to get other sales. So we're at 5% right now. Next thing we do here is we go through and select what printer profiler we want to use, right? All these printers are slightly different. Doesn't make a huge difference in the, I would say, profitability, but it is a little bit different. So, I think most farms have their workhorse printer that they use for the majority of the stuff. So that is what I would probably use. For us, it's the minis. So I'll put the mini in here, and then we open up this, and we can see our different filament brands. Something to keep in mind here, what is available here is what you have selected here as well as here. So if you are, say we have an Ender 3, right, and we have, the electricity put in here, and you're coming over here to the Etsy, and you're like, why can't where's my Ender 3, right? It's not here. Go back to your sheet, and you can see we didn't turn it on. So you click that, gotta turn it on. Put your printer count in, put how many hours it runs, maybe like 7 or something. Now flip back over, and we can see we have the Ender 3 here. It's available. Guys, I'm sorry if you don't see the drop downs. I don't know why OBS doesn't record those, but if you're missing a printer in your printer profile, first thing to do is check your printer racks and make sure the printer you want is highlighted. Because if it's not, it won't be there. Same with the filament brands. If you think you wanna, if you want, I don't know, Protopasta, and you don't see Protopasta here, go back over to your farm data and make sure you got Protopasta highlighted. If you don't, it won't be there. Now, if we go open this up, Protopasta, there we go. So we're over to PLA. We can select which one of the 10 we want. We're just going to do black PLA. And you can see now it fixed our column. It's given us numbers because everything is jiving and we got all the data we need there. So it calculates our material cost for us based off of our filament cost and our grams from our catalog here. It calculates our electricity cost based off of our max kilowatt an hour and the time to print. It calculates our machine maintenance based off of our machine maintenance schedule and time to print. It calculates our other supplies based off of our other supplies on the catalog page. It calculates our packaging costs based on the box type you select to give us a total cost of goods of $5.45. It then takes our sales price to figure out our Etsy fees. If we want a discount, I'm going to put no. It gives us our net sale, our markup, our profit margin, and our profit per hour for that printer. So if you see if I take these away, it takes away stuff, right? Well, you can't calculate Etsy fees unless you know a sales price because Etsy charges fees based off of the sales price. So then we can't calculate profit and markup and all that stuff without having the Etsy fees. So if you're ever missing data and it's not working, you just need to kind of go back and make sure you got everything selected because they all work together, to make the world go around. So once you got this in, this is now where you can kind of have fun with it, right? And you can play around with these sales prices and kind of the sheet do the math. What this sheet is great for, everyone, is it takes the guesswork out of it, right? You develop your sales thesis of I need to make X amount. Maybe it's I need to make X amount per printer hour, or maybe I need to, I've heard that online retail to be profitable long term has to be above 40% profit margin, gross profit margin. Maybe you have a per item where I'm not going to sit and box up that item for less than $6, right? Because it's going to take me 5 minutes to do whatever your thesis is. You develop that, and now you're able to go and build your listing to achieve that goal. And maybe you'll find out that an item doesn't make it, right? Like for what you'd have to charge for it, there's just not enough perceived value for it, and maybe you scrap it and you move on to the next thing. And there could be other things that have a lot of perceived value from the customer, which means you can charge more and do even better. So that's what you can do here. So say my profit per hour goal was $2 an hour, right? I would have to bump this up to maybe 15, 25. Now I'm over. And you can just kind of go through and play with all that until these numbers here are what you want them to be. So we'll put this back to $14.99 just for our tutorial sake here. If you wanted to do a markup, you could do it here. Maybe you offer a 10% discount for Christmas. Obviously, it takes off the 10% from $14.99 and then adjust your profit accordingly. So that's the Etsy one. Let's jump over to Amazon. Same thing here, guys. We're missing stuff, right? So we need to just kind of work through top to bottom. So first thing here is Amazon referral fee. This is just an input cell. If you're familiar with Amazon, you know every listing is a little bit different. So I would recommend you, do whatever you want, I guess. Take your average, take your weighted average is probably best. Or if you only sell, 1 or 2 items, just put in whatever they say is the Amazon referral fee. Next, we got to make sure we got the right overture selected with the black. You can see that fixed a lot of the problems. And then something a little bit unique about Amazon is these 2 columns over here. So are you going to use Amazon FBA or are you going to sell yourself? Obviously, if you fulfill yourself, these fees go away. Your profit margin is better. If you have Amazon do it, you can see it cuts into it because they do charge a pretty hefty fee for that. And then what is your FBA package size? So Amazon will tell you this based off of the data you put in there. So if it's small or large, just put it in there. It adjusts some of the fees associated with the FBA. So we have a FBA, small. This one is going to go in our box 3. So you can see if we do the same sales price as Etsy, we're only making $4.92 versus $6.92. So Amazon takes $2 more. And that is why this sales price is not auto-filled, from what you put in here. Because you're going to want to adjust your sales per platform you're on so that you meet your numbers over here like we talked about. So maybe we sell this on Amazon for $16.99, but we'll leave it at $14.99. And then same as Etsy, if you want these to calculate, you got to go put in sales price, and you can see we got some errors. And it's because we don't have this selected. So are we doing seller? Are we doing FBA? Maybe this one we do seller. Maybe this one we do FBA. Small. And maybe this one is FBA large. And then you can see it fixes our columns here and gets us our profit. Moving on to Shopify. As we move on, it gets simpler. Nothing to input here for Shopify. Their fees are the same no matter what. So as you can see here, our material cost is falsed out. And it's because we don't have anything selected here that's correct. And there we go, black. Let's go PLA to be consistent. And let's put in our sales prices that we've been putting in. $14.99 for all three of these, $9.99 for this. And you can see it spits out our profit. Last one, no fee. Same thing. We got a couple errors. More than likely it's up here. Yep, black. Okay, black PLA. There we go. $14.99. $14.99. $9.99. And now you can kind of toggle through these and just see what the difference is. And obviously the most profitable thing to sell on is no fee, in person or your own website where there's, even your own website would be a credit card processing fee. So no fee, in person, probably the most profitable, right? Because there's no card processing fee. It's cash, whatever it may be. You can see the same item we're selling for $14.99, we can make $10.58 versus Amazon, which is the most costly. That same item we're only making $4.92. But like everything, this $10.58 is only good if you make the sale, right? So Amazon and Etsy, they provide customers to you. Shopify and no fee don't, which is why you get better profit with Shopify and no fee than you do Etsy and Amazon. But with Shopify and no fee, you have to drive your own sales. Amazon, Etsy obviously brings millions of people to your shop, and they charge according to that value that they bring. So that is the sales channels. Sales channels. So we'll do it for this part of the series. I hope you guys liked that and it was helpful. If you guys have comments or questions, make sure you're dropping them in the comments below. We will answer them as quickly as we can. But that'll do it for this video, and we will see you guys on the next video series.